All right. It is Thursday, February 10th, 2022, and from the home studio in Middletown, Delaware, I am Marshal Manlove from My Sports Reports, and this is an interview edition of our program. And joining us today here in a moment will be a young lady who has scored a lot of points for her high school basketball team. And how many is a lot? Over 2,000, and we're going to meet her coach, and her father here in a moment, and hopefully when I press this button, our guests will appear. Yes, it works. It's always good when it works. The young lady to the opposite side of the screen there is Cali Denson, and her coach and father, Michael White, sit next to her. And welcome to my show, folks.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So, congratulations on your scoring milestone, Callie. 2,000 points, and where are we up to now since you've scored your 2,000th?
She's at number 12 in the state right now.
So, she had been 15th just about a week or two or so ago, and scored a lot of points since then, apparently, right? So 12th all-time on the Oregon. And I know you say it Oregon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, out here in Delaware, we say Oregon, but I looked it up. So tell us about your daughter and the star of your team there, Mr. White.
She's probably the most difficult guard to guard. She's just able to create off the dribble, shoot from anywhere on the court, and then create for her teammates. So it just makes it really tough. This year we're seeing a lot of box and ones, even triple teams, and she's still getting production with those junk defenses. So yeah, she had 38 last night. The team decided to go man, and that's rare. We rarely see that. And if we do, then usually it's only on there for a couple plays, and then they realize that they're going to have to do something else. And last night they didn't. They stayed man the whole night. So yeah, it was it was a long night for the person guarding her last night.
So how's your team doing this year overall?
We're right in the middle of it. We're battling with another team for the final playoff spot. We start off a little bit slow. We had a handful of starters missing games due to just obligations previously before that were scheduled before the season started. So we're missing a couple starters. Our numbers are low. We didn't actually start getting full practices as a team until probably 50% of the way through the season.
Oh, wow.
But now we're clicking, and we're looking a lot better. And our numbers are tiny. We really play like 6 players. So, yeah, it's been an interesting season this year. But we're right in the thick of things. We control our own destiny moving forward for that last playoff spot. So I think we've got action at it. I think we're good.
All right. Well, Callie, how old are you? How tall are you?
I'm 18 and I'm 5'7".
All right. So did you know that you were getting close to the 2,000 point milestone? And well, answer that one first, I guess.
Yeah, it was at the beginning of the season. It was in my trajectory, and I thought I was gonna get a little bit faster, but some unforeseen circumstances happened, and I was a little bit slowed down because I'm struggling with some knee, not really an injury, but just soreness. So that slowed me down, and then yeah, but I knew I was close, so I knew I was gonna get it this year.
And when you reached the milestone, was that, did you celebrate at the time? Did you know it at the time when the game stopped? Did you do something at halftime, after the game, before the next game? How did that work out for you?
Yeah, it was an away game against St. Helens, and I only needed 14 points to get there, so we knew it was going to happen. and I scored it pretty fast because I wanted it really bad. So I scored it, and I think it was the second quarter, and it was really cool because my jersey number is 22, and it was the 22nd point of the game when I scored it. And he called a timeout, and we all just celebrated. So my teammates made a sign for me, and they all signed a basketball, and it was pretty cool.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So, 4-year varsity starter?
Yes.
And I did a little bit of research. It looks like you set a state record as a freshman for points in a game with 46 points. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And Mr. White, have you been the coach the whole 4 years for her? How long have you been coaching with the team?
I've been 4 years at Milwaukee with her. Originally had planned on having her go to St. Mary's. It's a all-girls college prep school here, and just kind of changed our mind at the last minute. We were the school that's local to us is Milwaukee, and she grew up in their feeder program, and I've coached like some of their feeder program teams, and so it was like, it's right around the corner. You could go there and you could light it up for 4 years, and that's kind of what happened.
So, Cali, you've scored a lot of points, and whenever somebody does, that attracts the attention of colleges, both big, medium, and, well, both. Big, small, and medium. Have you had any offers to this point? Have you made a decision where you're going to go? What are your plans at the moment?
Yeah, I'm still undecided. Over the summer, I had 10 plus Division I offers, but due to COVID and everything, the coaches wanted to see me play in person, and they couldn't because there was only 2 showcases, and I had to switch teams because I was in a touching state to the club team I was on before that. And stuff happened. Some communications fell off, and I didn't want to make a decision too early because I hadn't met anyone. I didn't want to make a decision that I would regret.
Mm-hmm.
So we waited, and eventually those fell off. So I was in a lull where I didn't have anything, but now they're starting to pick back up again.
Okay.
Well, the big thing too was reaching out to the schools like after the viewing period had taken place, and literally all the schools that thought she had signed with Tulsa. So they just assumed that that's where she was going. So what's going to happen, she's going to more than likely, I mean, it's not set in stone, trying to see what still comes through. If it's not anything that's a good fit, then she's probably going to relocate to Orlando and play for DME Prep, and basically have reclass year and go in as a 2023.
Okay. It's a big move from Oregon down to Orlando.
It's a huge move. Yeah, it's a
Just
big move.
The climate alone is going to freak you out a little bit. Trust me.
Oh yeah, we love the weather here.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait till you see crocodiles and stuff and alligators. That'll put a different spin on your experience down there. So, Cali,
Sure.
how many of your over 2,000 points have come via the way of a dunk?
Not a lot.
Too.
So can you dunk? Let me ask you that question.
No.
Okay.
I wish I could. When I was younger, that was a dream of mine, but then I just stopped growing, and I was like, oh, maybe that might not happen.
So if you had to change any rules for both of you, had to change any rule at high school basketball, what would it be?
I wouldn't really change anything. One, we were joking around in practice one time. One of our girls kicked the ball, and I was like, that'd be cool if they allowed us to use our feet in basketball. I don't know. It just seems like it would be a cool addition, like on defense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to add a shot clock. Oregon doesn't have
Yeah.
a shot clock, and teams just run clock, and we had to do it the other night. But
Yeah, it slows everything
but
down.
it slows everything down having a shot clock, and I prefer like more fast-paced game. So
Yeah.
You know, it works in your favor if you have a lead that you need to nurse, though.
yeah, that's what we had to do the other night is
Right.
nurse that lead a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know how what the breakdown is. I know we don't have it in Delaware, but across the line in Maryland, there's a shot clock, and I hear that answer come up a lot. The other answer I heard come up, not a lot, but one time was somebody wanted full contact. Full contact.
Nice.
Like, okay, I think that's
They
called-
allow it here. They,
Yeah, I experience that
they-
every game.
they allow it here. Callie doesn't get calls because she's got such a good handle on the ball, and there's been, I mean, they hand check her. Her arms get held to her side. She's trying to get open. They'll have two girls holding her, just like bear hugging her or tackling her during the game, and the ref's like, well, she didn't lose the ball. It's like, so that's what it's gonna take.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. I refed for a while. It's a tough sport to referee sometimes. So, Callie, you don't score the points all by yourself. It'd be impossible to do so. Occasionally, get a fast break. That's all you, and you take it down court and whatnot. But give some credit to some of your teammates and shout out to them so they know that you do give them some credit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I probably wouldn't score as much without them. Like, they spread the court for me. They opened up lanes, and if I kick to them and they don't have a shot, they know, try to get it back to me. And they set really good screens sometimes that definitely get me open. And Aubrey, our big, is a great screener, and I can always trust them. If I am having a rough shooting night, I can always count on them to set good screens and make layups and get those offensive rebounds, because Aubrey and Ayana, both of our bigs, they are really athletic rebounders, and they just get it and go right back up. So it makes the defense stay true. Here they don't really play true defense against me and us most of the time because they try to just stop me, but I'm like, you guys are going to pay for that. Like, we have shooters and we have great post players. Like, you can't just play box and two, triangle two, box and one, stuff like that. So,
Coach, you want to add on to that? Shout out some names of some of your other players on your team.
Yeah, Bryn Menzel, Ella Hill, and then our little freshman, Brooklyn. She's a great new addition. She's just a little scrappy defensive player. And, Aubrey Miller, Ayana Young.
Now, how many more regular season games do you have this year?
5.
You have 5 more? Okay. My
Yep.
schedule I have here is not particularly accurate. So what are one or two of your most memorable moments of your high school career there, Callie?
One would be my freshman year when I got 46 points. We were in a double overtime game against a team that we're almost rivals, not quite. But it was really big because that game I hit a 3 to get us into overtime, and then from there we took over and we won. And 46 points is a lot, so it was really fun to do that. Another time would be scoring my 1,000th point. That was a home game, and I had a lot of support around me for that. And then my 2,000th point. There's a lot of good memories. Trying to think what else.
So, yeah, you scored your 1,000th point while you were just a sophomore too, right?
Yeah. Was I the quickest?
Yeah, she was the fastest to 1,000 in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had to deal with the shortened season last year as a junior too, which was unfortunate. But everybody had to deal with it too, all around the country. So it wasn't like a whole lot of people were able to catch up to you along the
Right.
way
Yeah.
either. So people who are successful in sports, successful athletes, I have found have little rituals or traditions, customs that kind of people who aren't athletes might not really understand. Are there some kind of little superstitions, traditions, rituals that you are conscious of to talk about?
Yeah, before every game, depending on my mood, I listen to uh, certain music. Like if I feel like that night I need to have super high energy, I'll listen to like super high energy songs. Like sometimes just metal, and then other nights I listen to like jazz because my nerves are really high and I need to calm myself down. And then um, I pay really close attention to what socks I'm wearing because I'm like, oh, that game didn't go very well when I wore those socks. Maybe I should try different ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is interesting how many athletes are fond of particular garments, for
Yeah.
sure. And music
Yeah.
definitely plays a big part. How about? All right, so let me ask you this question: if I was to come see one of your games, a home game, where would you recommend that I or somebody else who might want to come see you go to eat before or after the game?
We have some food carts at our school, like right down the street, right next to the TriMet. So those are some really great spots to eat. They have Thai food. They have just classic chicken tenders and fries. um, yeah, they're pretty good. And then there's a nice little cafe down there too. So that's where I would recommend.
All right. And then I know you're near Portland, or is Milwaukie part of Portland?
Pretty much.
It's
Yeah.
like Southeast Portland. Yeah, there's a river that kind of separates downtown Portland from where we're at. We can see downtown Portland pretty well. So from the high school. So yeah, it's basically like southeast part of Portland.
Okay. Have you ever been to Delaware?
I don't even know where Delaware is on the map. We were in Pennsylvania. That's as far as we went last summer for Under Armour tournament.
Yeah, we're just south of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
We drove through there.
You're not the only one. Some people don't really recognize that this is a state, even though we were the first state. Actually, it's very small. I think Delaware fits inside Portland. So
Probably.
Wow.
yeah, that's about it. Hey, but look, if you're ever in Delaware, look me up, and then I will introduce you to some local places to eat here in Delaware.
Sounds good.
What else should I know? Anything that you are sitting there thinking about? I wish you would ask me this, or I forgot to mention this or that and the other thing.
I don't have anything. Do you?
She loves her favorite go-to type of movie genre is horror movies. That's like her. Yeah, that's all she watches.
Nice.
Fun fact.
Fun fact, yes.
Hey, you know what? I got into doing this. I've covered sports a long time. I got back into doing it 5 months or so ago because I travel all around the country entertaining. But, local sports galvanize communities. They strengthen them. And it's one thing to just talk about the scores of games all the time, but it doesn't really mean anything if we don't know who's actually doing all the scoring. Right. And success in life, people who are successful in life have successful relationships. So that's what we try to do. Just meet people, have some fun, talk about sports, say nice things. That's all that I'm trying to do here. But, it means nothing if, okay, so Milwaukee wins 50-48, but okay. Now somebody can follow and they say, well, how many points did Cali score in that game? And I wonder if she wore those socks.
Right.
Right. So, all right. Well, it's very nice to meet the both of you. The best of luck to you throughout the rest of your regular season. Hopefully make it into the playoffs, and then we'll root for you if you do. And then let us know where you go to college, and if you set any more records or anything like that, we're happy to know about that as well. If you'd be so kind as to wave goodbye to the people that I know are watching, it's my friend Joey V, our #1 fan. My #2 fan is my wife, she's not even #1, and Tom K, who's #3. He's also a basketball official, so I know that he's watching here too.
Nice.
All right, so thanks again for joining me. I would like you just to hang tight there while I close out the show. Your mic's going to be hot, so don't say anything too off color, let's say, until I say goodbye. All right?
All right, thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you in a minute. So that's Cali Denson from Milwaukie High School in Oregon, right outside of Portland, and her coach and father, Michael White. And she had scored over 2,000 points, 12th all time, currently in the state. So we wish them the best of luck and thank them for showing up here today. All right, that'll do it for this edition of My Sports Reports. This is brought to you by me, Marshal Manlove, stage hypnotist. If you'd like a funny, fascinating, and memorable show, visit my website at marshalmanlove.com for all the information you would need to know about that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, I am Marshal Manlove, and now